Hi, everybody. I'm very excited to be here. Actually, I want to thank Jeff Pulver for inviting me. This is have been more than an amazing experience to be part of this community. It's my first 140 Conf as an attendant and as a speaker, so it's been really great. And I wanted to speak to talk about innovation. Now, once again, innovation. So usually we look forward. We talk about the future. We talk about what can happen, what should happen. Maybe we even find a way to make money out of it. I don't want to speak about any of it. I want to look actually backwards and speak about the past. Granted, maybe we'll find some kind of a linkage to the future, but we'll see as we go, hopefully. And let me get you back to 1958. We deal here with communications, with media, new media, and 1958 was a defining moment for television because NBC actually did the first live broadcast in color and also the first usage of production taping. So that was definitely an exciting moment, and let me share a few seconds with you and we can discuss this later.
This soaring tower in northwest Washington, but a few miles from the White House, rising 459 feet above the ground to become the highest structure above sea level in the nation's capital, proclaims the presence of NBC's newest color television and radio center, at whose dedication we invite you now to join with the President of the United States.
In the brief history of American broadcasting, our chief executives have contributed many important chapter headings. President Wilson was the first to test radio when returning from the Versailles Peace Conference. President Harding, the first to speak over a network of 3 stations. President Coolidge, the first to broadcast from the White House. And President Roosevelt, the first to use the technique of the fireside chat.
Sorry to interrupt this for a second, but the president of NBC said fireside chat. Is anyone familiar with this term? Whoa, that's amazing. So I'm familiar too. Thanks for Wikipedia. So just to run a quick recap on that. So Roosevelt, when he was the governor of New York, and that was back in 1929, it started. He decided that in order to pass legislation, he has a strong opposition against it and he needs some help. So occasionally and informally, he approached the people of New York directly and asked for their support. And that was it. And the feedback was enormous. Letters were pouring into his office, and he actually used it to show that the audience or the people of New York supports him without any buffers or limitations. So let's continue with that. That may remind you of something from today, but just suggestion. Oops.
Chapter headings. President Wilson was the first to test radio, first to speak over a network of 3 stations. President Coolidge, the first to broadcast from the White House, and President Roosevelt, the first to use the technique of the fireside chat. And you, Mr. President, have added many significant firsts to our history in opening up your news conferences to radio and television coverage, in permitting our cameras the freedom of the White House. You have enabled us to give the public an understanding of your high office and its occupant that is unparalleled in American history. The cameras you see before you are color cameras. They are now transmitting a black and white picture. By pressing this button, which I now do, the cameras are transmitting a live color picture. When you step before them, you will be making your first appearance on color television from Washington. 3,000 miles away in our studios in Burbank, California, This entire program is being recorded on electronic tape. The picture, the color, the sound are being captured for posterity through this recording system which NBC began using on a full-scale basis only last month, the change to daylight time.
I think all of us realize that in these fast-moving times, it is highly important that our nation's capital should be attached to every single citizen in this country by the very fastest, best kind of communications.
Hold on. I could swear these guys took a time machine, went to our days, stole our vocabulary, and went back to 1958. This is, are you kidding me? It's our words, new media, fast-paced, and also I wanted to ask you guys, President Eisenhower took the time, took the trouble to travel to NBC studios and spend so much time there, and it's much longer than you see. For what? For a technology change? Apparently, he thought that the statement of being connected, talking to the people directly, is an extremely important thing. But since then, I'm just thinking about it, since then, so many things happen. Technology is much more common. Would you think that it's even relevant today for a president to show the same things? Maybe, I'm not sure, but it may be a point. So what do we see here? If we take media as an example in the United States, and we talk about radio, we see a product cycle. It's a pretty classic cycle that shows that the first phase is for early adopters. It's a toy. It's only a toy. Almost no one is broadcasting, and almost no one has the equipment to listen. But someone believes that it's something that can change the world. Someone believes that it's important enough and exciting enough to do something with it. And that's what the investment of time, of money, of hope, that's what brings us to the next level, which is making the product a mainstream one. And only then we can think about monetization, how to make money of it. In radio, it's advertising. But then, just as we've been happy with the tool, with the media, with making money out of it, disruptive technology came, and in the shape of TV. So we can see how TV looks, but for TV it wasn't so simple. TV was a toy, but it suffered from many issues, and that also may recall something to you from today. The problem with TV, that initially they created content for TV, which was radio with pictures. And that's not good enough. It's not working. You need to create content that is good for the medium, and that took time. After they figured that out, we came to be almost mainstream, and then it's 1939, World War II. Both in the UK, the BBC, and the United States, the government said, guys, great tool, very excited. We're experimenting with it. It looks like a tool that we can use as well. Very interesting. We're actually hiring people to deal with TV now. But it's not regulated. We don't understand it enough. So stop, go back to radio, see you after the war. In 1945, no. One more minute. Yeah, that's fine. In 1945, we came to as a position that TV was ready for prime time and had the ability to move on. Going to the last one, but here's the problem. The crowd did not have any ability to do anything. The crowd was just getting the content in push. And guess what? The videotape in the 80s, TiVo in the 90s and 2000s, they gave the TV or the media the first taste of the crowd that actually can speak and record and time shift. And the last thing is the internet, what Jeff calls the state of now. So this is the disruptive point of internet. That's what we all do. So where do we stand here? We stand in a position that every time media changed, the owners of the media, radio, TV, internet, mobile, thought that that's a deal killer, that's it. TV will kill the radio, and internet will eliminate TV. And none of this ever happens. What happens, as a summary, is that the market has more competitors inside, but the market grows. And if you know what to do with it, and if you know how to utilize it, and if you spend the time and the energy to figure it out, then you get a much bigger market. And you get the new opportunity to scale and to grow in a way that you couldn't ever do before. So the truth is that tools change all the time, and they will continue to change, but you can anticipate the future. If you understand the past and you see the cycles of innovation, you can do much more than that. See you in the future.